1916. On narrow French ground near Verdun, armies faced off. For months, these two great armies ground each other down. Millions of shells fell day and night over Verdun relentlessly. Hills were blasted into cratered, barren, almost lunar-looking landscapes of mud. Again and again, the same shattered positions were attacked and defended. This is Verdun, World War I's longest battle, endurance and trauma. You are watching Historalis, your channel for real war history. We cover stories from the UK, USA, France, and beyond. Today, we explore Verdun, why the battle began in 1916. We will see how it was fought in trenches and forts, and why Verdun's name still echoes in France a century later. By early 1916, the Western Front had become a brutal stalemate. From North Sea to Switzerland ran almost unbroken trenches, wire, artillery. Germany and France had suffered heavy losses in 1914 and 1915. Despite this bloodshed, neither side had gained a decisive victory. German Chief of Staff Erich von Falkenhayn proposed a different strategy. Instead of everywhere, Germany would choose one place to exhaust France. Falkenhayn wrote of making France bleed white in battle deliberately. He hoped such casualties would push the French government toward peace. For this brutal plan, Falkenhayn and Germany chose Verdun deliberately. Verdun is a historic fortress city on France's Meuse River. It lies in northeastern France, long a key defensive region. After defeat in 1870–71, France ringed Verdun with forts and defenses. These forts and works were built after the Franco-Prussian War. By 1916, some nearby French forts had been partly disarmed. Guns were removed from certain forts for use on other fronts. Falkenhayn believed Verdun held deep symbolic importance for the French nation. He thought France could never abandon Verdun without a fierce fight. He judged Verdun's terrain allowed German artillery to dominate battlefield. Germany planned a massive artillery bombardment followed by repeated infantry assaults. The goal was not only capturing Verdun, but destroying French forces. They meant to force France to pour troops into a meat grinder. On 21 February 1916, Germany opened its Great Verdun attack. The assault began with one of the war's most intense bombardments. Trees splintered, trenches collapsed, ground churned into mud and craters. Trees splintered, trenches collapsed, ground churned into mud and craters. Towns and fortifications, centuries old, were smashed apart within mere hours. German infantry then advanced, capturing several outer French defensive positions. The French front line bent dangerously under this heavy, sudden pressure. Key strongpoint Fort Douaumont, largest fort near Verdun, became crucial. Early in the battle, Fort Douaumont fell into German hands. A small German group captured it, exploiting weak defenses and confusion. Losing Douaumont badly shook French morale at Verdun's front lines. For a time, Verdun itself seemed close to collapsing entirely. In this crisis, French General Philippe Pétain took Verdun's defense command. He knew Verdun required steady supplies and unbroken, determined fighting spirit. Pétain organized the Voies Sacrées, a single vital supply road. Thousands of workers and vehicles kept this road constantly open. Along it came men, ammunition, and food toward Verdun's front. Trucks moved in endless lines. Broken ones were quickly pushed aside. French units were rotated through Verdun rather than left permanently. Over time, many divisions spent part of the battle there. This system spread both physical and psychological burdens across the army. Pétain adopted the slogan, "Ils ne passeront pas," they shall not pass. Under this motto, Verdun became a symbol of national resistance. Fighting was almost continuous. Hills and trenches changed hands repeatedly. Places like Mortaume and Le Bois des Cours meant extreme suffering. Conditions at Verdun were appalling for soldiers on both sides. Artillery caused most casualties, far more than rifles or machine guns. Shells smashed shelters, buried men alive, leaving many bodies unrecovered. Rain turned shell craters into muddy ponds around the positions. In winter, intense cold and snow added greatly to misery. Constant bombardment shattered nerves. Noise and fear never really ended. Soldiers described lifeless landscapes, no trees, birds, only wreckage and mud. Some men survived physically, yet were deeply scarred in mind. Both sides introduced flamethrowers, better artillery spotting, and creeping barrages. Yet, overall, huge firepower still bought only tiny pieces of ground. Each small gain was paid for with very heavy losses. By summer 1916, the German Verdun offensive had clearly lost momentum. At the same time, Allies opened the Battle of the Somme.
This northern battle forced Germany to divert resources away from Verdun.
French counterattacks, better artillery coordination, and command changes slowly pushed Germans back. In autumn 1916, French forces recaptured Fort Douaumont from German control. In early winter, they later took back nearby Fort Vaux. These gains partly reversed Verdun's early disasters for the French. Officially, Verdun ran from 21 February to mid-December 1916 inclusive. That meant about 10 months of nearly continuous fighting around Verdun.
Estimates vary, but about 300,000 soldiers were killed on both sides.
Total casualties, including wounded, reached roughly 700,000 to 800,000 men. Despite this, Verdun's front line shifted only a few kilometers. Strategically, Verdun brought no clear winner to either side overall. Germany failed to break French resistance. France still held Verdun. But France's victory came at an immense, almost unimaginable human cost. Verdun became a symbol of World War I's horror and futility. For France, Verdun held special meaning across the entire country. Almost every French family knew someone who had fought there. The word Verdun became shorthand for sacrifice, endurance, and long suffering. Today, Verdun is a place of memory, mourning, and reflection. The landscape still bears scars. Forests hide old trenches and craters. Rusting fragments of war remain scattered across Verdun's battered ground. Some areas, filled with unexploded shells and metal, stay strictly off-limits. The Douaumont Ossuary is a large memorial building near Verdun. It holds remains of tens of thousands unknown soldiers from both sides. Nearby military cemeteries spread out in every direction around Verdun. Verdun still shapes French identity, symbolizing national endurance and remembered suffering. It shows what industrial war can do to people and land. Verdun was not just a battle, it was a long ordeal. A test of steel, flesh, and will that scarred France deeply. This ordeal left deep marks not only on France, but Europe. For more real stories from France, the UK, and USA, subscribe. Support Historals X by subscribing, liking this video, and sharing history.